I guess the last big release for 2024 is going to be the Travis Scott Air Jordan 1 in the velvet brown colorway, and that's supposed to drop on the 21st of this month. And in today's video, we're going to talk about this release a little bit. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts and opinions on it. We're going to talk about resale predictions towards the end of the video and why this could possibly be the most limited Travis Scott release that we've seen in quite a while. As far as 2024 releases go for Travis Scott, we've seen a lot of great releases, whether it was an Air Jordan 1 Low or even the new Jumpman Jack silhouette. For the Air Jordan 1s, we saw the medium olives drop, we saw the canaries drop, which, you know, maybe some people don't like the canaries or whatever. I think it's dope personally. But I would probably give the slight edge for this year to the Jumpman Jack, right? We got the white mochas, we got the University red joints, which was probably maybe the most normal kind of colorway from Travis Scott maybe ever. And then we got the dark mochas that just recently dropped. And now this month we're going to be getting the Air Jordan 1 Low in the velvet brown colorway. And it's a nice looking sneaker, right? But this could be one of the final kind of Air Jordan 1s from Travis Scott. It's being reported that next year in 2025, the last Air Jordan 1 Travis Scott that we're going to be getting is the collaboration between Travis Scott, Fragment, and Air Jordan to bring us like that mostly in all white, and the Fragment blue Air Jordan 1 Low is supposed to drop sometime in the fall of 2025. So we may not be seeing that many more Travis Scott Air Jordan 1s coming. Now, I like what they've done with the Air Jordan 1s over the years. The colorways have been great, whether it was the mochas, the fragments, the reverse mochas, the phantoms. You know, no matter what they put out, a lot of them have been really, really dope. There's really not one that I hate. You know what I'm saying? One thing I wish I would have seen more over the years when it comes to Travis Scott and the Air Jordan 1 silhouette is more highs. I mean, when it started, we had the mocha highs and then the fragment highs, which never really released if we're keeping it a buck. You know what I mean? That was like, kind of feels like it was like a friends and family release, or, you know, the very limited amount of pairs of those were all backdoored. We never really got even a Nike sneakers app release for that. So I would have liked to have seen more Air Jordan 1 highs from Travis Scott, but the Air Jordan 1 lows have been incredible, and I really like what they're doing with the Jumpman Jacks moving forward. Now, as far as this velvet brown Air Jordan 1 goes, this is going to be a sneaker that obviously moves. It's going to be tough to get. I mean, I feel like a broken record each and every single time a Travis Scott release comes out, because it's always a lot of the same. It's really hard to get. You don't hit on Raffles. And, you know, we're expecting this to drop on the Travis Scott website, which is basically really hard to get. And then ultimately it's going to be dropping on the Nike sneakers app, which is honestly going to give you your best chance to cop the sneaker. And just looking at the colorway of this sneaker, there was a lot of people sort of looking at it, sort of saying, you know what, this may be like the worst Travis Scott Air Jordan 1. And at first, when I was originally starting to see images of this come out, I was looking at it like, you know what, it's not better than any of the other ones that came out in my opinion. It's not really worse either, but it's probably near the bottom as far as how you would rank the Travis Air Jordan 1s. And when I started seeing images of it, I was like, I wish they would have done something a little bit different, a little bit more. But the more I see it, right, it's a pretty nice looking sneaker. I think it's really going to come down to what you do with the laces on this, as far as how it's going to look with your outfits and how it's sort of going to put everything together. But it's a nice looking shoe. And like I said, guys, it's going to be tough to get no matter what. Now, one of the more important things that I think is really important when it comes to Travis Scott releases is the amount of stock that's going to be released. Now, if you look at the past kind of, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 Travis Scott releases, it looks like in the neighborhood of around 150,000 pairs were released worldwide, which is still not a lot, but in terms of a limited collaboration for Travis Scott, that's probably, I guess in their minds, like a major GR. This one right here, from everything that I'm hearing and seeing, is going to have somewhere in the neighborhood of around 120,000 pairs worldwide, which actually makes it more limited than we've seen a Travis Scott release in the recent past, right? So obviously, just like I said, gonna be tough to get, you know what I mean? Put your footwork in, everything you gotta do, you know, hopefully, you know, say your prayers and you get a W on this if you really want it. But 120,000 pairs kind of feels like accurate. Now, I think it's gonna be even harder to get than some people think. And the reason for that is that this sneaker's been out on the street for months. About 2 months ago, maybe even 3 months ago, I was offered pairs of this sneaker for $600 a pop. $600 a pop to get them 3 months early, and there was a ton of stock out there. And if you guys have been watching my channel, you know, I told you guys about it. You know, I told you guys about it on the live stream. You know, like, they're out there. Like, they've been out there, which means that these pairs were backdoored a long time ago. Not from everywhere. I'm not saying that every retailer backdoors all their pairs, but there was a ton of them out there, and they were definitely accessible. People were buying them up. I mean, you can even just look at it on YouTube. People got early pairs of this sneaker already. They've been had it, and you know, it's just going to be another one of those releases that's tough to get. And I don't want to kind of overlook the fact that just because, you know, 120,000 pairs may seem like a lot to some people, when some of the stock is already gone and being sold out on the secondary market for a markup, you know, just kind of put that into, you know, how hard it's going to be for you to get one for, you know, an actual retail price of 150 bucks. The raffles, man, some people do hit on them, you know, but it's really, really rare. You know, a lot of times, you know, it's just basically like a waste of time. It kind of feels like to put in at all these places, hoping to get a W on a Travis Scott for retail. But people do hit. I mean, I know a lot of people were hitting at Social Status here where I live. People hit on APB. And that seems to be the place, I guess, more likely to give you a W, more so than some of the other places. So if you're doing raffles, you know, just keep that in mind. Obviously, if they're doing some kind of in-store pickup thing, that's going to increase your chances as well through one of the tier 0 stores or boutiques. The Travis Scott website, on the other hand, we really weren't seeing W's on there for quite a long time. Like zero, not a zilch, not a single W was going out for like the longest time. And then whenever the Dark Mocha Jumpman Jacks dropped, I believe it was last month, they gave away some W's, man. A lot of kind of like preschool sizes went, and then like a couple of men's sizes. I did see W's out there. I even know somebody that hit on the Travis website, so I know they gave out some W's. But obviously, guys, just like always, it's going to be really, really tough to get. Now, recently, I saw that Travis Scott wants to take more direction, take more lead in the amount of pairs that he's getting. Maybe this is going to cut down on some of the boutiques to get pairs, because it looks like he wants more stock for his website. And so it's kind of being reported that it's gonna maybe make getting Travis's a lot harder, but I don't really think it's gonna make it harder than it already is. It's already really, really tough. So whether more pairs go to the Travis website or not, I don't really think it's gonna be harder to get. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be exactly as hard as it always is. And, you know, we're going to have to, you know, hope for W's on the Nike Sneakers app, because that seems to be the best place in order to get a W on a Travis Scott. So best advice, get everybody to put in on the Nike Sneakers app when they drop for you that you possibly can. People that don't want the sneaker, get your girlfriend, your baby mom, your side chick, you know, your aunt, you know what I mean, your grandma, your grandpa, all them. Put it on the Nike Sneakers app for you, you know, in your personal size, and just hope for the best. And that's the best advice I could give you. Now, in terms of where I kind of feel like the sneaker is going to be in terms of resale predictions and things like that. So like if you want the sneaker and you take an L, you know, what do you kind of expect to pay out on the secondary market if you want to pick the sneaker up? Or, you know, if you want to flip it or trade it for something else, where do you kind of feel like the sneaker is going to go? Well, right now, I mean, they're going for a lot less than I kind of thought that they would. Like in my size on GOAT, they're basically going for around like 450 bucks, maybe 500 or so in some other places, depending on, you know, the fees and things like that. And, you know, once the sneaker drops, obviously it'll kind of maintain something for a little bit, you know. And I kind of just feel like it's basically, you know, where it's at right now. I think it's going to be between a $400 and $500 sneaker whenever it drops. I kind of feel like that's going to be the price to pay it, and, you know, to get it in your collection in the near future. That's really where it's going to settle in at. If you wear like a smaller size like me, you're probably going to pay closer to $400 to $450, and if you wear a bigger size, you're going to pay $450 to maybe even slightly over $500 in order to get it. And that's just sort of the market that we're in. Even the Jumpman Jacks, that's kind of where those have been going. The Canaries are below $400 in most sizes right now. The medium olives are sort of in that $500 range right now. So, you know, like I said, between a $400 and $500 sneaker is where this is going to be at, I think, for the foreseeable future. Now, in the future though, you know, Travis's always go up. You know, not all of them go over $1,000, but a lot of them do. I don't necessarily know if this is going to be one of those sneakers that's sort of like the Phantoms, where whenever they dropped, they were $350, $400, $500, and now they're $1,000 plus. You know, the Phantoms sort of snuck up there. You know, it took a little bit of time, but the Phantoms did get there. I don't know if this sneaker is going to get there or not, but most Travises do end up around that $1,000 price sort of like range, but it does take a little bit of time. And if they're going to be discontinuing the Air Jordan 1s from Travis Scott, this one definitely could probably get there in the future. But for the foreseeable future, you know, if you take an L on the sneaker or something like that, it's going to cost you around $400 or $500. Other than that, guys, I'd like to thank you all for your time, your attention, and all the support you guys always show me. I love you. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you all in the next video real soon. I'm out. Peace. For more sneaker content, make sure you hit that subscribe button and you hit that notification bell so you never miss a video.